Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Saturday Night Special with Adam. Got another episode in store for you. I've got a few things to show you. And first off, I'm just going to tell you right off that I've been sick all week. I've been battling a bad cold all week long, ever since last weekend, and I'm finally kind of coming over it. I don't feel too bad, but I'm still congested. My sinuses are still kind of stopped up, and I'm still coughing a little bit. But I haven't been out here in the shop all week doing anything because I've been so sick. I had to take a day off work and lay up and try to rest. But I've been dying to get back out here, and I've been trying to think of a couple things that I wanted to show you for the video for tonight. So I've got a couple things that I'm going to show you. We got a couple boxes in this week. Got some more viewer mail. So I'm going to start with that. We're going to see what's in the boxes, and then I've got a couple more things to show you. So the first one here, and I've already opened it. I got it a few days ago. You probably recognize that logo right there. That's a couple stickers. That's the vintagemachinery.org logo, and this is from Keith Rucker from Tifton, Georgia, and he sent me a little care package, and he sent me a little note here also, and I'll read you the note. It says, "Dear Adam, just a small token of my appreciation of the fine job you're doing sharing your machine shop experience on YouTube. All these goodies are part of a big haul of machinist tooling that I scored a few months ago. The guy that I know bought out all the junk left over from business that was going out of business. He paid a couple $100 for the loot with the condition he had to clean out the entire place. While most of the haul was just kind of miscellaneous junk, for whatever reason, the guy had a fair amount of new old stock machinist tooling. My friend did not have any need for the tooling, knew that I could probably use it, and offered me a sweet deal. Most of what I got was just single piece of this and that, but for whatever reason, there were a ton of these grinding burrs and countersinks. I now have a lifetime supply of these items, more than I can ever use, so I thought I would spread the wealth around a bit. Keep the videos coming. Sincerely, Keith Rucker." And Keith, I remember you were talking about that, I believe, in your toolbox tour, that you had mentioned you've got another bin full of end mills that you had recently bought. I remember you talking about that. So thank you for the stickers. I'm gonna find a spot somewhere out here that I can maybe put these up. So let's take a look at what you sent me here. I've already taken a peek at them the other day, and you got some really cool stuff in there, man. Let me see if I need one of Tom's green food trays out here so they don't fall everywhere. All right. Well, I see a bunch of welding tools, and we got some Carbide Burs. These things are a couple of them are really stuck in these tubes. I'm going to have to kind of work to get a couple of these things out, which I may not be able to do right now, but like this one right here, that's a really nice carbide single flute chamfering tool, counterboring tool, not counterboring tool, chamfering tool. I can't read what degree it is. There's like some glue or some dried up stuff on there, but that's really nice. That's solid carbide. And there's a few of these Carbide Burs, and these things are always handy in a machine shop. There's one there, and these are some expensive things to buy whenever you go to pick these up. You know, if you spend regular price on these, I don't remember what they cost these days, man. You know, 20 or 30 bucks a pop maybe for these things. So He's got some really nice Carbide Burs in here. There's another one here. And I use them anytime you got to get in there and do some grinding with your air grinder. Those come in handy. So there's several different. There's some ball nose, some round ones. Some of these I believe might be just high speed. They don't seem to have the weight as the Carbide, but they're all new. He sent me several. Here's another Carbide. Really nice. There's another one of those bigger cylinder burrs. So that's pretty neat. There's a cone shaped one there. Solid Carbide. There's another one like that, the cone tip. And there's a few of these that's really small ones in here. So Keith, man, you sent me some really nice cutters, man. I appreciate this, because this is some really high-end stuff. Look, there's a big ball router burr. That's what I've always called these, as router burrs. You know, there's people call them different names. Some people call them rotary files, which is what's on here. I've just always called them rotor burrs. There's another one of the angle cut, like the cone shaped there. So a lot of burrs, and this is another one of those I couldn't. It's kind of stuck to the plastic, but it's one of those solid Carbide countersink tools. Very nice. Can't wait to get that out and be able to use these. And I hope you can see all these in the shot here. Now here's a bunch of welding countersinking tools, and what's funny about that is Tom Lipton at Ox Tools just did a video on sharpening these, and he talked about a couple of them, and that was a really good video. And so Keith sent me a few of these. This is a 90 degree, and these are all brand new, the welding type countersink tools. And whenever Tom was talking about sharpening, he showed one that I had never seen before, because I never had one, and that's one with the pilot on the end of it. And lo and behold, he sent me two of them. I believe there's two in here that's got a pilot. And like this one here is a this is a 1/4 inch pilot on the end of this. And I've never had one of these with a pilot on the end, so that's very cool. So I got a couple of these, and we got some of the bigger ones here. Let's see. Oh no, here's another 90 degree. This is there's an 82 degree. I use the 82 degrees a lot, and always have, because of a lot of the bolts that we used have the 82 degree chamfer on them, or the angle. And here's the big one. And this is a 90 degree welding. So a lot of very nice tools, a lot of very expensive tools. If you was to go and buy all these individually, I'm sure all this right here alone is a few $100s easy for all this stuff. So thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate it, and I'm definitely going to put some of these to use. I've got a drawer over here in one of my toolboxes where I keep all my countersink tools, and I can't fit another one in there. There's so many. So I think I'm gonna put these in this cabinet here. I've got a lot of stuff in that I use. I'm gonna put them in a little plastic bin in there with some of these countersinks, and I'll start using some of these. So thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. It's always nice getting a hold of some more of these Carbide Burs, because they always come in handy when you're trying to grind, especially when you're doing weld fitting and and grinding out cast iron for brazing and welding. They always come in handy. So again, thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate that. And while I'm on the subject of Keith, I wanted to point out something else. Whenever he was doing his toolbox tour, he showed this gigantic end mill that he's got, and I believe it was 2.5 inch, and the length, I can't remember how long it was, Keith. It was like 10 or 12 inches long. It was a big end mill. And I told you in the comment that I don't think I've got one quite that big, but I did find the biggest one that we have, and I've actually got 2 of them, and that's this right here. And this is a 2-inch roughing end mill. I've got 2 of them. There's another one. They're identical. They're a little beat up. They've been used and put away hard. They could still be reused if somebody wanted to grind them, but these are, as I said, they're 2-inch, and I think they're about 6 inches long. Now they're about 8 inches long. But so that's the biggest end mill that I have right there, and I've never been able to use them because we never had the capability of holding a 2-inch shank. I believe this is just some that somebody had given us, and I think they might have come from Westinghouse here in town way back whenever Westinghouse was in business. So Keith, you got me beat on the biggest end mill. I definitely don't have anything to beat that monster that you got, but that's the biggest one that I got. And then this end mill here is an example of the bigger end mills that we always used in our shop. This is another 2-inch roughing end mill with a 4-inch flute link, and we've got a lot of these, and a lot of these were given to us from surplus from Westinghouse, and they're great end mills. Got a bunch of them. You can take and resharpen these things and keep using them and do some hogging with them. But I can't use them now. The little Bridgeport, or I mean the little Dual, I don't think it's going to handle a mill of this size right here. So that's it on my biggest end mill, Keith. You got me beat. So let me put this stuff away. I'll be right back to you. All right, guys. Next box I got. This is from Jody Vanloo. He's from Central Square, New York, and I'm pretty sure I know what this is. I haven't even opened it yet because I just got it today, and I remember what he said he was going to send me. After last week's video, last Saturday night's video, when I was talking about my ball mills and wanting to find another end mill holder for the Dual there with the R8 shank, he had sent me an email and said that he had one that he would send me if I wanted it, and I told him sure, I'll take it. So he sent it to me, and I just got it today, and I'll go ahead and open it up and we'll take a look at it. Oh, got the peanuts in here. Try not to make too much of a mess here. And it still looks like it's brand new. I'll make sure you didn't see me a note or anything in there. I don't see one. All right. All right, Jody, this looks exactly like what I was going to be hunting. That's it. That is a 1-inch end mill holder for the R8 spindle. and it's in good shape. Don't look like it's ever been used. It's still got oil on it. But Jody, I really appreciate that, buddy. That was a very nice thing to do. Is you know, send me this, and believe me, I will use it. As I said before, using the big end mills in a small mill like that, you know, the purpose isn't to go over there and use these big end mills for heavy cutting. It's being able to utilize the diameter of some of the cutters to get in there and do some spot facing or some really light milling, and it's nice because I've got a bunch of different size big end mills, and this will help me be able to use some of those because I've got a 7/8 collet, but there's not many cutters with a 7/8 shank on it. Most of them are 3/4 or they go to 1 inch or 1.25 inches. So again, Jody, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I'll be putting it to use. So the next thing that I wanted to talk about is hammers. Now, I really don't have a gigantic hammer collection like some people do. I've noticed in a couple of Tom Lipton's videos that he's got one hell of a hammer collection back in the corner of his shop. He's got this rack that he built, and they're all stacked up in there. I mean, he must have 100 of them. And I've left him a couple comments, and I told him, I said, I've got a couple hammers you might like that I have. Nothing special, but you know, we've got a few. But I have one hammer in particular that I think might beat out everybody else, including Tom. And I guess we'll just have to wait to find out. But so I've been dying to show you guys this. That's it right there. That's the smallest hammer that I have. It's a little tiny ball peen hammer. And this is the one I've been dying for Tom to see right here, because I'm sure that he was expecting me to pull out some gigantic freaking sledgehammer, and the whole time I'm thinking in my mind, I've got this little one right here that I want to show you, you know, little ball peen. And it's it appears to be probably shop made. It looks like something that somebody made. There's a center drilled in the end of the handle here. It's got a nice knurl to it, and they use some hex stock. I don't have my calipers handy, but they use some hex stock and then turn one end round like a ball peen, you know, and then made the handle and fitted them together. But this thing, I believe it's 3 inches long. It's 3 inches long. And I believe it's made out of brass, so it's a little brass hammer. And it's been used. If you can see the face of that thing, it's been used. I don't know what it's been used for, because I've actually only used this hammer one time. And I don't remember what I was doing. I had some really small, intricate part in the vise that I was working on, and some really, really tiny little roll pins or something. And I was trying to get in there and drive them. And I remember I had that little hammer in the toolbox, so I went over and got it, and it worked. I went over there and drove those pins in with it. So I wanted to show this to everybody. This is the smallest hammer I've ever seen, and it's in my possession, and it belongs to our shop. So I challenge y'all to show me a smaller hammer than that. And I don't have no doubt that there is one out there, but nobody ever talks about their small hammers, so I just wanted to show that to you guys. It's big enough to fit in my pocket. So anyway, enough with my small hammer. I'm going to give you a quick little once over of some of the other hammers that we have in our shop that my dad and my granddad have collected, and I got them all out on the table, and we're going to walk over there and I'll talk about them real quick. All right, so behind me, I've got my hammers. and I had them underneath the table. I just went ahead and pulled them out. It'd be easier to talk about them on the bench right here. And I'll go through them and just kind of show you that, as I said, there's nothing special about them other than that they're all very old, and we've used the hell out of them. They're all well worn in, and I do have a couple of my favorites. So this is our big hammer right here. I mean, that's basically a sledgehammer on a short handle, and we used to use this a lot. That came in handy all the time, especially on the big lathe. We had some really big parts over there that we would have to indicate, and you just got to have something to be able to move that thing, and that's what we used this for a lot of times, was indicating, you know, and in other things when you've got some big, heavy hammering that you got to do. This is our biggest ball peen hammer right here, and this is a, I don't know what weight it is, but it's a big heavy ball peen. It's been around a long time. This one's actually made by Stanley. This one right here is actually my personal favorite. It's got a perfect feel and weight to it. I like using that. I use it all the time. You can see we've got some small ones here. There's some small ball peens. This one needs a new handle put on it. There's two of these that's identical right here. It's got the white fiberglass handle. These are very old, but they work great. Here's one of my copper hammers. I got another one down there by the milling machine that I use. If you don't have a copper hammer, they come in handy a lot. I use the copper a lot whenever I'm doing broaching. Whenever you go to stick the broach in for each pass, I use the copper hammer to tap the cutter down in the part. And you know, just some more ball peens right here. This is a couple more of the bigger ones. And what I wanted to point out, this is another smaller copper hammer here. We've used it a lot. But like these two here, these two ball peens, and the big one, and then my personal favorite here, these handles here, I actually replaced myself. I did that several years back. The handles were getting wore out. I went down to the hardware store. They sold handles for hammers, so I bought some. And the guy there even gave me a little crash course on how to properly fit them. And you know, I probably did a decent job, not the best, but I remember shaping this one and getting it in there and wedging it, and it's always worked real good. And these two also, nice wooden handles. I do remember some of them are this is a Blue Point, and there's a couple that say Plum. This is my good rawhide. This is a Garland right here, and I've got a box full of these type of hammers here, the rawhide, but they're you know, they're worn. They need the new ends on there, so this is the only one that I actually keep out here ready to use, is this one, because it's still in good shape. But we got a bunch of these. I've got a couple that's a lot bigger than that. So that's our hammer collection there, and this was kindly for Tom Lipton. He said that he would love to see my the hammer collection from our shop. And let's not forget about the awesome little brass ball peen hammer right here. And you can see how it kind of stacks up in size. Here's my smallest ball peen besides the brass one. So I'm gonna put this back in my pocket, and it's gonna go back in the toolbox. So that's about it for our hammer collection. And Tom, I hope you enjoyed it. I've got some more things underneath the workbench there, but that might be for you know, got to have stuff for another video. I will point this big boy out again. There's the big number 24 Greenfield, and you see how much bigger it is than all these hammers laying out here. just thought I'd throw that out there to kind of screw with you guys for a minute. I know a few people trying to find that thing. All right, that's it. All right, guys. Well, that's about it for the talking portion of the video here. I did do a little bit of machine work earlier in the week. I had another project for my dad that I helped him with, and I filmed that whenever we were working on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in here now. So that'll follow here shortly, and after that, that'll be about it for this week's episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed everything that I showed you. Again, thanks to Jody and Keith for the fine gifts that they sent me. I really appreciate that, guys. And I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the project content now. Hey guys, all right. Well, we got another project here. My dad's down here, and he's got a job for me to do. So he's got this electric heater that he uses down on his patio, and got a couple problems with it. And we're getting ready to have that Arctic blast come down here probably tomorrow. I guess it'll be here tomorrow. And it's supposed to get pretty damn cold. So he uses his little electric heater out there, and he's got a couple problems. He asked me if I'd help him fix it. So the first thing is this little knob. What does that control the heat, or on and off? So that's the on and off switch to it. And most of this kind of stuff, these knobs have that like a half round hole in them. And this one's cracked, and it's just wanting to spread out whenever he's turning the switch on and off. So what he wants me to do is machine a little bushing that we can just kind of lightly press over this. That'll hold that together so that when it's on there, he can turn that switch and it's not trying to expand and break this piece off. So we got a piece of brass right here that we found. This is a piece of 1/2 inch brass rod, and I think I'll use this to machine a bushing that'll fit over this right here. Hopefully you can see that. It looks a little flared because it's cracked. So that's the main thing we're going to try to do. And then he's also got, this is the one of the feet that goes on the bottom of it because it rolls around. And this side here is breaking out where the caster goes in there. And he's already tried to glue it in there, but it's not staying. So we just to kind of get this done quick, he wants me to drill and tap a hole in the end of this, drill a hole through this here, and just actually have a little screw that'll hold it in. And we're going to give that a shot and see if that'll work. So I'm going to get set up on the lathe and start making a little bushing. I'm going to take this 3-jaw off and put the collet chuck on. Always make sure this thing is clean. You don't have no chips on here. On the back side, make sure it's good and clean. Got the piece of brass set up. I'm getting ready to face it off, and we're going to try a letter S drill, which is about 348 thousandths, and I believe that'll give it a slight amount of press fit over that plastic. probably just use my scraping tool, but I'll use this. A little tight. The end of the piece is a little bit flared up, so I'm just trying to stroke it with a file and see if that'll help get it to start on there. I think that might work. Take just a little bit more. I think that'll work right there. All right, we'll part it off. There it is. Show it to them.
There's your knob. Ready to go.
That's the little brass bushing we made. Lightly pressed over it, and I believe it's tight enough to where it shouldn't spin, really. It's just to click the switch back and forth. So hopefully that'll work. Alright, we got this little caster clamped in this vice grip. I got a center punched and it's eyeball the center, and I'm just gonna hand drill and tap it with my DeWalt drill here. That's deep enough. I'm gonna tap it to 832. See, I got a I got our little baby tap wrench there. Don't get to use it too much. I'm gonna try it out on this job. Vice might get in the way. Yep. Let me move it on out a little bit. That'll work. Alright, got the wheel drilled and tapped. Alright, last thing to do is just drill a hole through here, and there's really just a quick way to do it. I'm just going to get down and dirty and just try to eyeball the center of this hole here and try to pop a hole through. That didn't take much. I guess we'll see if the wheel fit. Hold on. I think I got it. Well, that's it. I got it the first try. Alright, well, we got Dad's projects done. There's the caster fix. I went ahead and put a little washer underneath the screw head so that it would help give it a little more surface area that it's pulling on. But I don't have it very tight, just snugged up in there, and I think that'll probably work. Just something to hold the wheel. It's not a very heavy heater. And then there's this on and off switch knob again that we fixed. So got his stuff done. He's wearing his new shirt that I got him. That's for Keith Fenner here. All you Keith Fenner fans, he's got his Turn Right Machine Work shirt on.
Sorry, Tom, I'll wear ox next time.
He said he'll wear ox tools next time. Alright, this sounds like a good clip for the Saturday night special. So we'll see y'all Saturday night.